Well, hi there, students. It's Mr. V. Today we're going to look deeper into portraiture. Now, we've studied how to build the head as a basic shape. We've studied the eye, we've studied the nose and the mouth, and all the parts thereof. So now we're going to tie it together. This lesson basically gives you guys the cement to know where pieces go on the face, how big to make them, and so on. So what that's called is called proportion. Proportion simply means accurate placement. You can consider this a roadmap of the human face. But each of you, in a sense, is their own roadmap. You all have individual, unique faces. You have unique proportions. And so naturally, this fits as simply a guide. It's nothing that's supposed to be used as an end-all, be-all. Hey, I'm going to copy my face so that it matches this oval shape. As a matter of fact, I don't think any student in this class has the exact same facial proportions as this example that I'm going to show you guys. So free your minds from the concept of drawing an oval and making things fit in there. It's just a guideline to help you know where to put things. And as you all know, there are many different types of proportion. Nobody has the exact same face size, especially this guy. He wouldn't use the oval, he'd use more of a rectangle. Likewise, this gentleman would use more circles and spheres than anybody else. And that's the great thing about art. No pictures are alike, even if you're drawing portraits. You could have two artists in totally different skill levels drawing the same person, or even equal skill levels with different techniques, and they wouldn't look exactly alike. The person would be recognizable, but the techniques would be slightly different. But proportion is one of those things that always functions as a road sign, a guiding line to help you know where to put things. Because if things are out of proportion, they look pretty odd, as you can clearly see. And everybody's unique. There are many different face shapes, but generally the rules of proportion still apply. Unless something's happened to you to change your face structure so it's completely different from everybody else's. So this form right in the middle, this functions as your roadmap. It gives you everything you need to know as to how to space the eyes, where to put the nose, how to know where the mouth goes, and so on. So let's break it down into pieces. For starters, you've got the eye line. The eye line is a horizontal line. It's just a pre-drawing line, an imaginary line that goes through your piece directly at the midpoint between the top of your skull and the bottom of your chin. That represents where your eyes are at. Now for some people, this will be different, but you'll need to conform that to your unique features. Now if you're looking in your mirror and your mirror is set below you, your head's going to be like looking up. So your eye line is going to be high up. What you want to do is shoot for that midpoint so you get a really good middle range between the head and the chin, which means you might need to prop your mirror up to get accurate proportions of your face. And what's important about the eye line is not only does it help you understand where to place the eyes, but it acts as a guide to where each individual eye goes as well. The rule of thumb is that the distance between two eyes is one eye's distance. So you should be able to cram a third eye in between both of your eyes to determine how far apart they are. Likewise, the distance between the outside of the eye to the outside of your head should be about 1/2 of an eye in distance. Next comes the nose line. That's the second line that you draw after you figured out where your eye line's at. That nose line is located between the eye line and the chin. So you've gone between the head and the chin for the eye line, and now you just go between the eye line and the chin for the nose line. And that could either be like right where the nose ends, that could be right where the tip of the nose is. It's really up to you. Now the nose on people is typically as wide as the distance between the outsides of your nostrils to your tear ducts inside the inner parts of your eye. Now that can vary based on ethnicity and unique features. So be aware of that as you draw it. The mouth line is located between the nose line and the chin. I'm sure you're starting to see a pattern. We went from the halfway point between the skull and the chin to find the eyes. We went halfway point between the eyes and the chin to find the nose. And now we go the halfway point between the chin and the nose to find the mouth. Now the mouth is as wide as the iris or pupils in width. Now that doesn't mean your lips are that visible. Remember the corner of the mouth from our previous screencast, the mouth line and the corners of the mouth extend beyond the lips. So your lips will actually taper off on the outsides and look smaller than your mouth line. So be aware of that as you draw. And finally, the ears. The ears go from about where the eye is at all the way to the bottom of the nose, generally. That gives you the range on where the ear is at. Now the ears are also slightly slanted, so they don't fill the entire size of that box that I drew down there. Over here we just have examples where I've shaded in the gaps of the face to show you ideas of proportion. Here's an example at the top on how large the ears are. Once again, they're between the eye line and the nose line. The mouth is as wide as the pupils or the iris are apart, and it fills that gap. And finally, the nose is as wide as the tear ducts are wide on your eyes. That last graphic was kind of like a schematic, kind of flat. Here's an example on how you can shade when you go to add shading to your piece. This takes into account not only placement, but also light source, kind of the peaks and the valleys of the face. And let's just take it from the top. Your brow line, which is where your eyebrows are at, have temples right on the outside. That's an area where you can shade. Also, your eye sockets. Remember, with the study of the eye, the socket is one of the essential parts of the eye that you shade in order to make the rest of the eyelids look 3D. That's a part that you shade. Depending on where your light source is at, then one side of your nose will have shadow. Also, if your light source is above and you have an upturned nose, you'll see shading on the bottom of the nose. This cleft under the nose and between the nose and the mouth, there's a shadow there as well. Now let's talk cheekbones. Well, we'll go over cheekbones in a future screencast for the difference between male and female features and ethnicities, but the cheekbones are a great place to add shadow. That typically goes from the outside of the eye and then curves in a little bit, depending on how defined your skeletal features are. The top lip, remember from the mouth screencast, the top lip is always shaded if the light source is above you. And we've also got this dimple area between the chin and the bottom lip. Typically that also is a caved-in surface. Now finally, there's a shadow cast from the jaw. Now the reason the top lip is shaded and this part is shaded is because part of your face sticks out to block the light. Same thing for your jaw. The jaw, because it's kind of a semicircular, triangular type shape, will cast a semicircular, triangular shadow beneath it. That's how you use implied line to draw the jaw in a portrait. When you're doing a value drawing, you would use that neck shadow that's cast to basically cut into your drawing to show the jawline. So, at any point, pause the video to look at these examples. You'll receive handouts as well. But go back, and if there's anything that you don't understand, rewind the video and watch. We'll be doing some demos also in class. I'm going to try and get a screencast speed drawing of portrait as well to show you guys how things work. So, I look forward to seeing you in class, and I'll see you then. Take care.